Hey everybody, Michael here from Extreme Diecast Racing, and today we're racing championship race number 15 competitors. We're going to dust them up and see how they do. So we've got our track ready. This is a quarter mile. Yeah, nice white track. It's not going to remain white for very long, so better take in this beauty while we've got it. It's going to get dusty here real quick. So that Chevy just got a 2.327 and the Nissan got a 2.355. What we're going to do is race all the cars from championship race 15. So this wasn't our last championship race. This was 2 championship races ago. 16 is still back on the stands. And once we go through and race all the cars from 15 and dust them up and start populating our different categories of weight, then we'll go through and do 16. So went through, raced them all. I've got times, and I raced them on both tracks so I could get the better time of the 2 tracks. And it's really interesting. You can see all these cars lined up all the way down there. I'm not doing every car, just the ones that had decent times, and then a few bad ones just to see how much they improved, get a feel for it. Kind of the real surprise is the lineup from the half mile compared to the quarter mile. So the winner of our race was this Ford F-150. And it actually ended up in 7th place on the quarter mile. 2nd place was a Shelby Cobra, and it got 2nd also on the quarter mile, so it's fast on both. Lotus Esprit got 3rd, ended up in 4th place. So kind of the surprise is this Chevrolet Stalker put up a really nice time of 2.285. We're going to see if we can improve on that. But what we'll do is we'll compare all these times with the new times after I've dusted them up. So I'm going to get on that right now. But here's our lineup. And in the future, after I get a feel for this, we'll see how many that we do after each championship race and dust them up. But have a case coming. It's about 144 cars. And we'll populate it. Yeah, much like you see from Brandon on Scale Racing Channel. We'll do that same type of setup. He's figured it out, and it looks great. Okay, well, let's get going. I'm probably going to start with the ones in the back, kind of work our way forward a little bit. Okay, let's get to it. I've dusted up the first 10, so these are the slowest ones we'll be racing from championship race number 15. So the Supra had the slowest time of a 2.488, and the Lamborghini had a 2.392. We'll line these 2 up, and we'll run them in each lane to see their fastest time. Okay, let's see how this goes. All right, so yeah, that Supra had a 2.488, dropped it down to a 2.464, so a little bit quicker. And the Lamborghini had a 2.392, and it dropped down to a 2.384. So that's nice, a bit of improvement there. Okay, we'll line them up on the other lanes and we'll see how they do. Okay, so drop down to a 2.455 for the Supra. Again, the original time was 2.488. And the Lamborghini, again, started at 2.392. We're down to a 2.387. So both of them picked up a little bit of speed, but it wasn't a huge improvement. I wanted to try some of these cars that were on the lower end of the scale, see if they had some huge improvement or not. So it looks like, you know, they got a little bit quicker. Was it worth the time to go through and graphite these guys? Definitely not up to anywhere near the times of these other cars that are coming. So anyways, we're getting a feel for it. We'll see what's worth our time and what's not worth our time on trying to get some speed out of these guys. Okay. Our next 2 is we've got this yellow Corvette, and we've got this red Ferrari, a 2.386 for the Corvette and a 2.383 for the Ferrari. We'll line them up. Okay, so our Corvette, again, 2.386, dropped down to a 2.373. And the red Ferrari had a 2.383, slowed up to a 2.401. So that is strange to me. something would slow down after that. The wheels seem to be working all right. Okay, we're going to switch lanes and see how they do. Okay, so second run for the Corvette. Again, 2.386 is where we started. Got a 2.376. First one was a 2.373, so about the same. But it did speed up a bit from where we started initially. And the Ferrari, which slowed down, 2.383, got a 2.404, which is just a little bit slower than its first run of 2.401. Okay, so yeah, Graphite did not help out this Ferrari. Actually got a slower time. But the yellow Corvette sped up a little bit. Not by too much, a couple hundredths of a second, but a little bit quicker. Okay, we're going to line up the next one. We've got this Solaire, 2.379. And then we've also got this Camaro over here, 2.374. Okay, so we had a much better speed out of the Solaire. 2.379 is what we had. Got it up to a 2.338, which is not bad. And it looks like our Camaro, 2.374, just sped up by 1/1000th of a second, 2.373. Okay, feeling pretty good about that Solaire. We'll switch lanes and run them again. Well, looks like our Camaro had a much better run that second time. So 2.374 initially. Now we're down to a 2.347. And our Solaire did not do as well on the second run. So still better than the first time down at 2.379, but only at 2.375 where that first run. Yeah, the Solaire got down to a 2.338. So a little bit inconsistent with that guy. Have to run him a few more times, but had some improvement here. Feel pretty good about that. Here's our next two. We've got the Matchbox Supra on the right with a 2.373. On the left, we got the Ferrari F40 with a 2.369. Yeah, this Supra is really nice. Impressed with this Matchbox. I sure hope he sped up a lot. We'll see how he does. Wow, that Supra sped up a ton. 2.373 down to a 2.318, which is a really nice time. And it looks like our F40 went slower. 2.369 to a 2.394. Yeah, impressed with that Supra. 2.318. If we come over here to the original times, that's tied with the winner of Championship Race 15, the Ford F-150. And the Ford sits in 7th place overall. So that time was really nice. So, not bad. It's nice to have that Matchbox moving that quick. We're going to switch lanes now and see if we can beat those times. All right, the Supra, 2.317. Pretty nice. Yeah, its first run, it got a 2.318, so it got slightly faster by 1/1000th of a second. And F40 did much better on that second run, 2.345. Original was 2.369, so it sped up also. Must have liked lane 2 much better than lane 5. All right, pretty good. Definitely some improvement there, but especially that Supra from a 2.373 to a 2.317. Really nice. Up next, we got this blue funny car, 2.368, and the orange Camaro, 2.366. Okay, so 2.349, and the funny car had a 2.368 initially, and it looks like our Camaro went a little slower, 2.366, 2.378. Okay, we'll switch up the lanes and see if they can do better. All right. Looks like our funny car got a 2.349, so sped up a little bit from the 2.368. And the first run from the funny car was a 2.349, so exact same speed, different lanes. That's pretty consistent. And we went to a 2.377, which is still slower. Yeah, this guy did not like the graphite. Slowed down a little bit. Let's see, he had a 2.378 on the first run, so just a little bit quicker on the second one. So, yeah, sometimes graphite doesn't seem to work for some of these guys, but sometimes they really speed up a bit. 2.349 is not too bad. A little bit of a speed up for that funny car. There he is, hiding away back there. Okay, we'll get the next group together and race them and see how they do. Here's our next 10 cars we're going to race. I've got them all graphited up. They're ready to run. We're going to start off with these two Camaros here. One with a 2.364 and another with a 2.363. We'll line them up. Okay, so it looks like our green Camaro actually slowed down just slightly, 2.369, and it was a 2.364. Hopefully it does better on the second run. And our white Camaro got a 2.397, which is quite a bit slower than what I had before. Graphite doesn't always speed these guys up. Let's switch the lanes and see how they do. Okay, second run. Still not very good for the blown Camaro, 2.392. And our white Camaro just slowed up even more, 2.419. Yeah, that was not a productive session of dusting. Okay, we'll get the next two lined up. Here's our next two cars. We've got this classic convertible Ferrari on the right, and we've got Power Rocket on the left. We'll line them up. Okay, we got a little bit faster with the Ferrari from a 2.357 to a 2.347, and Power Rocket had amazing wheels and just did not run that well. 2.356, and this one run was a little bit slower, 2.374. Okay, we'll switch the lanes and run them again. All right, Power Rocket liked lane number 2 a lot better, so it did increase its speed, well, decrease its speed from 2.356 to a 2.348, so that's not bad. Classic Ferrari did not like 5, 2.357 to a 2.376. Okay, we'll line up the next two, which is going to be this black Camaro right here. We've got this classic Doogie here. We'll line them up. All right, we sped up just a little bit from a 2.356 to a 2.352. And it looks like our Doogie slowed down a little bit in lane 5, 2.356 to a 2.388. Yeah, lane 5 is a bit slow today. I'll have to check that lane out and see if there's an issue. Okay, we'll switch lanes. Okay, 2.56 to a 2.393. A 2.56 to a 2.365. So it looks like both of them slowed up, and the Doogie really slowed up. Yeah, Graphite did not go well with that guy. Okay, our next two, we've got this fantasy car over here on the right, Crescendo, and we've got a Ferrari on the left. Well, that was nice. Crescendo went from a 2.356 to a 2.320. That's not bad at all. Our Ferrari really slowed up, 2.55 to a 2.392. Okay, we'll switch up the lanes. Okay, Crescendo had a better run on the first one, but this is still a lot better than the initial run. So 2.331. First run was a 2.320. And our Ferrari did a lot better over in lane 5. So 2.355 before graphiting, at least it is about the same. 2.359. Okay, we've got two more to go. We've got our fantasy car over here on the right and Soul Air on the left. We'll line them up. All right, not a bad time for the Soul Air. It went from a 2.351 to a 2.337. Now, looks like our fantasy car here slowed up a bit, 2.354 to to a 2.370. We'll switch up the lanes and see if they do any better. Okay, not bad for the Solaire, 2.321. So the first run had a 2.320, and that's up from a 2.351. Fantasy KART did better that second run, like lane 2 a lot better, 2.354 to a 2.349, so it did get better. So yeah, lane number 2 seems to be the quicker, well, it's actually not the quicker lane, but if a car's going to have a problem, it's over in lane 5. Okay, so that's nice. Both these cars did better, and the Solaire is actually getting up to a time that's pretty decent. As compared to our first runs, that would put it up here in about, 10th place or so. So that did advance quite a bit, jumped all those cars from there all the way down to here. Okay, we'll get the next 10 ready. I've got our next 10 cars ready. And first up, we got the F1 Racer with a 2.347 and the 79 Ford F-150 with a 2.346. All right, not bad. The F-150 really sped up, 2.346 to a 2.314. F1, we got the Formula 1 with a 2.347. A little bit quicker with a 2.342. Okay, we'll switch the lanes and try them again. Yeah, and just to put it in perspective with that 2.314 run, it's quite a bit faster on the original run, but that would have put it way up into 4th place. Yeah, right behind the GT Racer in front of the Kenworth. So, that is a really nice improvement for this Ford. Okay, we got a 2.329 out of the F-150. Again, it started at 2.346. First run was a 2.314, so a little bit slower, track number 2. And it looks like our Formula 1 went a little bit slower this time. Started with a 2.347. Second run was a 2.357. And the first run, we got a 2.342. So the quickest was 2.342 for the Formula 1. Okay, our next 2, we've got this red convertible Camaro, and we've got the box truck. Let's see how these guys do. Not bad. So the box truck's up to a 2.319. And not much of a change here for the Camaro, actually slightly slower. 2.350, and they were both started at 2.345. Okay, we'll switch up the lanes, see how they do. Wow, that Camaro jumped over our rice bag there. So 2.331 and a 2.345, so he got the better run on that first one, and that would have put him right up there. Yeah, kind of right here in this range, so that was a nice move for the box truck there. Looks like the Camaro did not get any quicker with the dusting, so actually putting up worse times than the original time. Okay, can't win them all. Let's see, on our next one, we've got this Action News sedan. And we've also got the Lakester over here with a 2.345. Okay, we'll line them up. Okay, not bad. Looks like our blue Action News sedan, 2.329, started at 2.345, so nice increase there. And start off with 2.345 for the Lakester, slowed up a little bit. Hopefully it'll do better when we switch up the lanes. All right, not bad there. 2.345 starting time, 2.324. And let's see, our Action News got a 2.329 on the first run, so this is the best run. And our Lakester just didn't like the dust, just slowed up a little bit. 2.345 to 2.351. Okay, we'll try our next 2. Looks like we've got the Aston Martin Vantage. And we've also got Fat Fendered 40. All right, start off with a 2.327 for the Fat Fendered 40, and 2.343. So this is Jaguar. It's slowed up a bit. 2.360. Hopefully, it'll do better on the second run. All right, not a bad time by the Fat Fendered 40, down to a 2.320. And again, pretty consistent for the Jaguar. 2.361. Definitely slowed up with the dust. That's too bad. But we got a bit of improvement out of the Fat Fendered 40. Oh, that was really nice. So 2.310 out of the, what is that? The Jet, Shadow Jet. That's the name. 2.335 is where it started. 2.310 is not a bad time. Kind of put that in perspective. That would be number 4 on our list. Yeah, right between our GT Racer and our Lotus Esprit. And let's see. Start off with a 2.336, 2.338, just slightly slower, 0.02 of a second slower. All right, we're going to switch up the lanes and try them again. Okay, 2.314, not quite as fast as the first run, but pretty close. Got a 2.310 on the first run. And it looks like our Sweet 16-2 just is a little bit slower with the dust. Not by much, but a little bit slower. 2.341 on the second run. So, yeah, it looks like our Shadow Jet, took to the dust really nicely. And again, that 2.310 would have put it in 4th place overall. So that's not a bad run at all. We're going to get the next 10 lined up and ready for you. And we're getting down to the last 2 groups of 10. So we're getting to the faster cars for sure. Hopefully they speed up a little bit. It seems like every 2 I do, one of them goes faster and one of them goes slower. So I'm not quite sure what's up with that, but I do like to see the improvement. Okay, we'll get next 10 ready. Here's our next group of 10. They're all dusted up and ready to go. And our first 2 is going to be this classic Ferrari convertible on the right, and then the Aston Martin Vantage V8 on the left. Okay, we'll line them up. All right, so now about the same speed. Yeah, for the Aston Martin Vantage, a little bit slower, 4 thousandths of a second slower. Looks like the Ferrari convertible did not take to the dusting. He slowed up a little bit. Okay, we'll switch up the lanes and see if they do a little bit better. All right, 2.330 to a 2.336. So the Aston Martin slowed up just slightly. But yeah, this Ferrari convertible did not do that well. 2.363. So neither of them bettered their time, but at least the Aston Martin was about the same. Not so much for the Ferrari here. Okay, so our next 2 got this beautiful white pearl Corvette Stingray, and then the 380 SEL Mercedes. See if they can do any better. All right, not a bad time for the Corvette. Started at 2.330, got up to a 2.313. Nice improvement. Looks like the Mercedes started at 2.328, 2.340, so a little bit slower. Corvette's looking good though. Let's see if he can do even better on the other track. All right, so 2.313 for the Corvette. And the first run for the Corvette was exactly the same, 2.313, so consistent. We got a 2.357 for the Mercedes, and the first run, looks like it was a 2.340, so a little bit slower. Mercedes did not take well to the dusting, but the Corvette did. So a 2.313, that would have landed it in, looks like 5th place before we dusted up the cars. Okay, our next two, we've got Turbulence here, and then we've got the Lamborghini Veneno. We'll line them up. All right, that is a nice time. 2.306 for Turbulence. Quite an increase from 2.328. Yeah, that is nice. Looks like our Lamborghini slowed up a little bit. 2.328 to a 2.341. We'll see if he likes the other lane better. But for perspective, at 2.306, yeah, that would put that guy in 2nd place. So yeah, Turbulence really took to the dusting. That is nice. All right, 2.313, so a little bit slower for the Turbulence, but still a nice improvement. And yeah, Lamborghini has slowed up a little bit to a 2.344. Yeah, it seems like for every one that I get going quicker, one goes a little bit slower. Okay, our next two. Yeah, we've got this classic 3-window Ford and also the Ferrari F40. We'll see how they do. All right, looks like our Ferrari F40 got a bit quicker. So a 2.327 to a 2.316. Looks like our Ford 3-window slowed up a little bit. 2.327 to a 2.347. Okay, we'll switch up the lanes. Okay, at 2.322. A little bit slower than the first run, but still faster than before. And yeah, our 3-windowed Ford. A bit slower now than it used to be. That's too bad. Seems like it's kind of hit and miss on the Graphite. Okay, let's see what our last two for this group have got for us. Got this gold sedan here with a really nice time, and then we've got the BMW Roadster. Okay, we'll line them up. All right, pretty nice time for the BMW 2.316, a bit quicker. Yeah, and it looks like our gold sedan here slowed up a little bit to a 2.344. Okay, we'll line them up in the other lanes and we'll see how they do. All right, gold sedan did a bit better. Actually improved on his initial time at 2.324, 2.323, so just 1/1000th of a second better. And 2.319 to a 2.351. So actually slowed up a bit. Yeah, I think lane 5 isn't as fast today. I think my record time for this track is lane 5, but generally it seems like the cars have a tougher time on lane 5. But when we do have a good run, it's a really good run. So, looks like they both did a little bit better with the dusting for their best times, but it wasn't a huge improvement. So we've got our last 8 cars left. So I'm going to get these guys dusted up, and I'm hoping we see some improvement with some of these guys. Okay. We'll have those guys all ready to go, and we'll put these guys back in their spot. We are down to the last 8, and these are the fast of the fast. We've got our flatbed tow truck here, 2.319. The actual winner of championship race number 15, Ford F-150, it actually got, 7th place here with the 2.318. We've got this stock car here, 2.317. The Kenworth at 2.316. GT Racer 2.312. Lotus Esprit 2.309. Shelby Cobra 2.308. And then we had this stock car here. The Chevy stock car got a 2.285. Really interested to see if this guy gets any speed and gets faster. Yeah, that's an incredible time. He didn't do that great in the half mile, but he sure did well in the quarter mile. So ought to be interesting to see how he does. So our first two, flatbed tow truck and the Ford F-150, we'll line them up. All right, Ford F-150. Got a really nice time at 2.305. That's the fastest for our race so far. Great time. Almost breaking the 2.3 barrier. So that's a nice increase there. Or I should say decrease in time. And it looks like our tow truck got a 2.332. So a little bit slower, 2.319. But lane 2 seems to be the quick lane, generally. I think my fastest time ever is in lane 5, though. So we'll switch them up and see if the tow truck can do a bit better, and our Ford F-150. All right, that was nice. Looks like our flatbed tow truck here just broke the 2.3 mark. 2.298 from a 2.319. That's a nice speed increase there. Looks like Ford F-150 went from 2.326. Yeah, a little bit slower. 2.318 was the original time. Yeah, so that is the fastest time that we've had. That is nice. Ooh, nice. Kenworth with a 2.298. Start off with a 2.316, so that is a nice speed increase there. Looks like our Chevy Stalker 2.317 slowed up just a little bit, 2.325. Okay, we'll switch lanes and see if they can do any better. All right, fastest time yet. We've just upped it. 2.297, track record. 2.316 was the original, so nice increase for the Kenworth. And looks like our NASCAR 2.317, 2.325. So the NASCAR slowed down just a little bit. The Kenworth sped up. Again, our new race record of 2.297. We're down to the last 4. And next up, we've got the GT Racer with a 2.312 and the Lotus Esprit with a 2.309. All right. Yeah, just looking at that time. 2.292 for the GT Racer. That is a new track record. Yeah, that is great. Going from a 2.312. So that is 20 hundredths of a second quicker. And Lotus Esprit started with a 2.309 and 2.319. Slightly slower. But that track time at 2.292 is really nice. Okay, we'll switch lanes and run them again. Nice time by the GT Racer, 2.296. So that is just a little bit slower than its first run of 2.292, but that is a great time still. Again, up from 2.312. And our Lotus Esprit is just a little bit slower with the dust. Got a 2.324. So yeah, that is a great time by the GT Racer, holding the current track record of 2.292. We're down to our last 2 racers, and these are the fastest 2 of them all. Shelby Cobra, 2.308. And we've got this Chevy Stalker here with a 2.285. That's an extremely fast time. I'm hoping we can do better than that. Wow, we just had a great time. Shelby Culver just got a 2.90. That is a new track record, up from 2.308. Chevy Stalker has slowed up a bit from a 2.285 to a 2.318. New track record, Shelby Cobra. Okay, we'll line them up in the other lanes and see if they can do any better. All right, Chevy Stalker just got a 2.282, fastest time ever on the track. So beat its record of 2.285. That is a great time. It looks like Shelby Cobra got a 2.309, so it did get the track record on the last race of a 2.290. But now we're down to a 2.282. Yeah, this is really nice. It's a little bit skinny for the track. You can see there's a little bit of room, unlike Shelby Cobra that fills up kind of the whole lane. So I think every once in a while it has a bad run, probably Does a little bit of fishtailing, but when it runs well, it runs super well. Yeah, real impressed with that time of 2.282. So I'm going to go through and do the new lineup based off the new times, and we'll see how much change there was. And next up after this, so we just ran championship race number 15. We're going to go through and do some of the cars from 16. Maybe not quite as many as I did on 15. But I'm real excited to see how these three do, especially that guy right there, the Murata. Okay, so yeah, let me do a little bit of work, and I'll get these guys in order, and we'll see what the change was. Well, that was really interesting to see how these cars improved, or actually got slower with the Graphite. So now I've got the times for their best run before Graphite, and I've got the time for their second run after they've been dusted up. And so, yeah, the fastest car was this Chevy Stalker with a 2.285, and it got a little bit faster with the track record of 2.282. So not much change there, but I was happy to see that car get a little bit faster, especially with that track record. Yeah, the one thing I found with this Chevy Stalker, it is really inconsistent. It's a little bit skinny, and if it doesn't have a perfect run, if it hits the sides a little bit, it slows it way down. Sometimes it even fishtails and really slows down, so not very consistent with that car. Now our Shelby Cobra, that thing is consistent. It's nice and wide. Doesn't have a lot of chance to get fishtailing at all going down the track. And it did increase, it did get faster from 2.308 to 2.290. So that's a nice time right there. Second fastest of the race. So both those two kept their positions, first and second. Lotus Esprit, I really hope that this car, especially since it's a newer release, came out last year if I remember correctly. I was hoping this guy would get a little bit quicker. Actually slowed up by 1/100th of a second from 2.309 to a 2.319. GT Racer got faster. Actually got, I would say, I think that's the third best time in this race. So from a 2.312 to a 2.292. Yeah, 2/100ths of a second faster. So Lotus Esprit and the GT Racer traded spots there. Kenworth got quicker, going from a 3.16 to a 2.297. So that is a really fast speed. There weren't that many cars that got under 2.3. Matter of fact, I think there were only 4 of them. So the Kenworth was one of the 4. Oh, there were 5 of them. So there were 5 cars that got under the 2.3 mark, and Kenworth was one of those. So nice improvement on the Kenworth. Yeah, we had our NASCAR here, 2.317, and it actually slowed down just a bit to 2.325. The winner of Championship Race 15 was this Ford F-150, and it got quicker. It went from a 2.318, so it was the winner for the half-mile track. Quarter mile, it got, 7th place, but it did speed up to a 2.305, so that was nice to see that one speed up. Now our flatbed, tow truck, I guess we'll call it. Yeah, this guy got quite a bit quicker, actually broke in the 2.2s. So from a 2.319 to a 2.298. So this is the last of the 5 to break the 2.3 mark. So pretty nice with that guy. Our 2 big trucks, yeah, those guys did really well. And I was a little bit worried with the 6 wheels if that would slow them down a little bit, but they seem to do just fine. If they do, they are heavyweights. And our BMW Roadster, 2.319, slightly got quicker to a 2.316. Our gold sedan here, from a 2.324, really slowed up to a 2.344. And Ferrari F40, this is one of 2 in this race, from a 327 to a 316. So nice improvement. 316 is a nice time. 3-windowed Ford. This one slowed up. That was disappointing. Slowed down 2/100ths of a second to 347. Here is one of our newer releases again. This is, one of the Lamborghinis. So it slowed up a bit. Yeah, I was really hoping that Esprit and this Lamborghini from that 5-pack would do a little bit better. They actually both slowed up with the Graphite. So from a 328 to a 341. Turbulence had a nice increase in speed from a 3.28 to a 3.06, so that's not a bad time at all. One of the fastest in the race. Yeah, our Mercedes, this is the 380. It went from a 3.28 to a 3.40, so it didn't like the dust. Corvette did really nice, from a 3.30 to a 3.13. Really nice improvement there. Aston Martin from a 3.30 to a 3.23, so improvement. This guy really slowed up, so the classic convertible Ferrari from a 3.31 to a 3.62. Yeah, I don't know what happened with that guy. Shadow Jet from a 3.35 to a 3.10. Shadow Jet really did well with the dusting, so that's a nice time. Probably made it in the top 10, and I'll line up the top 10 at the end so you can see them. And Sweet 16 2 from a 3.36 to a 3.38. Not much change there. I was hoping that guy would pick up some speed. Fat Fender 40 did increase with its speed from a 3.37 to a 3.20. So not bad at all. Yeah, this Aston Martin convertible did not like the dust, from a 3.43 to a 3.60. Lakester, I was hoping for a nice increase on this guy. It wasn't the case, from a 3.45 to a 3.51. Or Action News sedan here, from a 3.43 with a nice increase to a 3.24. So nice increase in speed, decrease in time. So here's a nice one. The box truck did really well on the half mile. Didn't do that great on the quarter mile, but with the dust it did speed up to a 3.19. So that is a nice increase there on that guy. Seems like some of these heavier ones really do well with the dust. Red Camaro convertible from a 3.45 to a 3.50. A little bit of a decrease. And our 1979 Ford F-150 from a 3.46 to a 3.14. So this guy probably broke the top 10. We'll have to see when I line them up, but that is a nice decrease in time, increase in speed. Formula One increased, did a little bit better, from a 3.47 to a 3.42. Solaire did really nicely, from a 3.51 to a 3.21. Yeah, I can't remember the name of this fantasy car, from a 3.54 to a 3.49. Yeah, our Ferrari here, from a 3.55 to a 3.59, not much of a change. The Crescendo did really nicely, a 3.56 to a 3.20. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Now the classic car here, I think this is the Doogie, from a 3.56 to a 3.88. Did not like the dust. And Black Camaro, 3.56 to a 3.52, slight betterment in time. Power Rocket from a 3.56 to a 3.48, a little bit of a improvement there. This is our second classic Ferrari convertible, from a 3.57 to a 3.47, so it did a little bit better. It actually ended up doing better than the red one over here. They got a 3.62, so they traded spots. And our white Camaro from a 3.63 to a 3.97. Don't know what happened with that guy. It's too bad. Blown Camaro, 3.64 to a 3.69. Just a little bit of a change there. Orange Camaro, 3.66 to a 3.77. Yeah, the Camaros just did not seem to do extremely well with the dust. Funny car, thought this guy would do better, and it did, by 0.02 of a second roughly, but I thought it would really pick up some speed with the dust. Didn't do it. 3.68 to a 3.49. So F40, this guy did do a bit better, actually did better than the funny car, from a 3.69 to a 3.45. And here we've got the Toyota Supra. This is the Matchbox version. 3.73 to a 3.17. This is the winner with increase in speed and decrease in time in this entire race. That almost 0.06 of a second there. Yeah, that is a nice increase. It was really nice to see that guy get a 2317. So, and that's a beautiful card too. It's really nice one to pick up. It's metal on metal, Matchbox, just beautiful. Okay, this the silver Camaro from a 374 to a 347. So that was a really nice increase in speed and decrease in time there. That guy, when I pulled him out of the package, his wheel was stuck bad. So, yeah, we've really improved that guy from where he started. Okay, the second Soul Air in this race from a 379 to a 338. That is a really nice time on the second run. Dusting did well for that Soul Air. Yeah, here's our last Ferrari of the 5-pack. 383 to a 401. Not good. So, did not like the dust. Yellow Corvette convertible from a 386 to a 373. And Lamborghini 392 to a 384. And our Hot Wheels Toyota Supra from a 2488 to a 2455. So got better, but just an awful time. Yeah, this was really interesting. I ended up dusting a lot of cars for this, and it took a lot of time. You'll notice I have not posted a video for about 2 weeks. I have been spending a lot of time with these cars. Have a pretty busy work schedule, so it's hard to find tons of time throughout the week. But I wanted to do a pretty large sample just to get a feel for what the cars will do with dust. I've dusted them up before, but never in this quantity like this. And I dusted all types, fast ones, and I dusted some of the slow ones. And some of the slow ones did increase in time by quite a bit. I've heard that the slower ones will do better than the faster ones. You know, they can get a little bit more out of them, at least on the decrease in time and increase in speed. But at least the top ones here did generally do better. That Esprit did not do better, but all the other ones here in the front end, well, actually that NASCAR there didn't do any better, but most of them did do better, at least to the front here. But it's kind of hit and miss on which ones are going to do better. And every once in a while you'll find one like that, like this Toyota Supra over here. Just an incredible increase in speed. So that was really nice to see. Okay, well, I think on future races I am not going to do this many cars. I think what I'll do is I'll do the fastest cars, the winners of the race, probably the ones that make it to the semifinals. So that'll be 15 cars. And then obviously some of the ones that you guys pick. If you put in the comments you want a certain car dusted, I'll dust it up and we'll see how it runs. But I'm definitely not going to do 48 in the next one. That took way too much time. So, going to try to be smart about my time. Okay, I'm going to line up the top 10 so we can see. So just to show you where we are, the top 10. Again, we've got this Chevrolet Stalker, Shelby Cobra, Lotus Esprit, GT Racer. We've got the Kenworth here. And here we've got this NASCAR, Ford F-150, flatbed, and BMW Roadster. And the last one in the top 10 was this gold sedan here. Okay, I'll put the top 10 after the dusting in order and we'll take a look at them. Well, I was going to line up the first 10, and then I decided the first 20, and then I did all 48. So, here we go. Yeah, the Chevy ended up in first place and started in first, and the Shelby started in second and ended up in second. GT Racer third, Kenworth fourth, Flatbed fifth, F-140 was in sixth, Turbulence got seventh, Shadow Jet got eighth, Corvette got ninth, and our other Ford got 10th. Then after that, BMW and the Roadster, and here is our greatest increase in speed. So Matchbox moved all the way in the top 15. Really nice. Box Truck moved up a bit. This guy was in third and moved all the way down to, it's like 17th or 18th here. Fat Fender 40 moved up. Crescendo had a really nice increase and jumped about 20 cars. And Solar did really nice and jumped up a lot. It's our Aston Martin. Then we had our Action News. Then we had our other Chevy here. And Sweet 16. Here's the other Solar. So the two Solars ended up fairly close together, at least in line. This one with 321, 338. We had a huge gap in time here from a 325 to a 338. We had our black Mercedes 340, Lamborghini 341, F1 Racer 342, Gold Sedan 344. Then we got the Ferrari F40 with a 345, and three-windowed Ford at 347. And then we had this classic Ferrari 347, Camaro 347, Power Rocket 348, Orange Fantasy 349, and here is our funny car. These guys usually do extremely well. You can see, yeah, he's in the back of the line here. Red convertible Camaro 350. Lakester, I had high hopes for this guy. I thought he would really take on the dust. His wheels looked really nice, but only a 351. Black Camaro 352. Ferrari 359. Yeah, this Aston Martin really dropped back. Actually, this is Jaguar. Dropped down to a 360. Other classic Ferrari. This one is the one that really slowed down to a 362. Blown out Camaro 369. And then the yellow Corvette 373. Orange Camaro 377. Lamborghini 384. Doogie here 388. And then the white Camaro 397. Red Ferrari 401. Finally the Toyota Supra 455. So there you have it. That's 48 cars. They have been dusted with a lot of care. Tried to keep them as clean as possible. But yeah, it takes a lot of effort to do some dusting, so yeah, probably won't dust as many. I've got Championship Race 16 back here. This is the next group, so I will for sure dust the semifinalists and the finalists, including our guy here who took the race, the Murata. Then I'll pick a few other guys like we got the Silver Bullet here. I'll be sure to dust that guy up. So I'll probably pick about 20 of them, and we'll dust them up and we'll see how they do. But I've also got a case coming in the mail, much just like what Brandon's got on Scale Racing Channel. He knows how to do it. It looks really good on his channel. So I'm going to weigh these guys. They'll be in categories, so based off of their weight. So we've got our first guys ready to go. I'll keep them ready, waiting for that case to show up, and then we'll put them in the case, see how it looks. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. That was definitely a ton of work, but I did learn quite a bit out of it, so that's good news. Okay, stay tuned for the next race. Catch you next time.